Okay, so now welcome to the October meeting of the Jaffna Club. Agenda today, so we do my welcome address, and then our speakers are from University Business Link. So University Business Link is a nationwide program where the tertiary education sector, so I think not just the university, form alliances with private sector to take research and commercialize it. So today we have Professor T.Eswaramohan, is Professor of Zoology and also Director of the Jaffna UBL, and Rakavan, who is a graduate of Jaffna University and is manager of the university, manager of the UBL. As usual, I will start with going across the club objectives for people who are new to this meeting and also people who watch the recording. So our objective: the club will facilitate, foster and support social intercourse and fellowship among its members. It will build a network of members and non-members that can work together to promote the economic development of the Northern. What is the club for? The club is a catalyst, which means that the club doesn't try and build any businesses. The club doesn't raise funds, doesn't form a commercial partnership. It is a catalyst. It helps people like us connect with each other, and it helps people like us connect with Northern entrepreneurs and business opportunities. So we've been running just over 3 years. This is the 3 years plus one meeting. We've never missed a month. And I'll slowly page forward so you can see the sort of people who have spoken to us in that time. Sorry, one. You can go through this more slowly in the recording. So last month we had Mohan Balendra, who spoke about property law in the. Now, before we start with the professor and Anu, I'm going to just very quickly tell you a little bit about the Jaffna Club website, which is going to be launched 1st of November. So the site is actually up now, and it has live data. Earlier, it only had test data. It now has real live information. But I'm still changing it. So I appreciate anyone who goes to thejaffnaclub.lk and gives me their feedback. One reason I believe this is important is in my years here, very often I find that there are programs and there are funding operations by foreign governments, by NGOs, which in the North we don't hear about either at all or only when it's too late. So, for example, these are 4 funding offers, which the deadline for application runs out within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So if you go to the club website, you'll find information about these. Another issue that we have in the North is we find it difficult to connect with markets. So here there are 4 examples of goods and services which are available now. My friend Justin Kumar, who spoke, I think, a year or 2 ago, so he's having a bumper harvest of mangoes in his farm in Jaffna. So he's selling these currently 20% off. And I've tasted these amazing mangoes, and that's an incredible price. That is about half the price if I walk 3 minutes down the road to the guy on KKS Road. 47 acres of land for sale in, and I can't even say it, Vetele Karani, which is towards the Chundakulam bird sanctuary. Beautiful land. Car for rent. Until recently, it was impossible to rent a decent car. The only option you had was taxi. And there is a company that has invested in industrial vehicles for its own land development and is also renting those out. There's been a lot of development in terms of how do you get to Jaffna. So in the last year, actually in the last few months, we have the flight from Chennai. The new ferry service started a couple of weeks ago. David Pierce Aviation started, I think, 3 months ago, and that's a decent price. I think 22,000 rupees each way in a small Cessna. And of course, we have Sri Lanka Railways, and also this bus seat.lk, which is a Jaffna entrepreneur built this, and you can book your tickets on buses going from Jaffna to Colombo. And we also have directly relevant northern news. So here, just 2 pieces happened quite recently. The so-called President's House near KKS has been leased to a SLIIT, who set up a campus, which sounds like a very good thing. And there's supposed to be a massive project in Punakari to do a solar farm. Now, the club site doesn't have a journalist. We're not planning to spend money on this. We'll have a minimal budget. So we're relying on members to send in any news that they see. And the site editor, which currently is me, will make a decision and will produce a summary of the news and load it on the site. So if you have something that you think is interesting, all you have to do is just send me a link to the web page. You don't need to describe what it's about, just send me a link and I'll do the rest. Okay, so that's it for the Jaffna Club website. Now we shall move to our speakers, so Professor T.Eswaramohan and Mr. Rakavan. So Professor and Anu, would you like to take over the screen?
Yes, Mr. Jagan, I will share the screen from our end.
Okay, so let me stop the share here. Here we go. Right, you have it.
Thank you. Hope you can see the screen.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Jahanarulaya for inviting us for this Jaffna Club team. And also I would like to, so many of them from overseas. I couldn't remember many of their names. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends of the Jaffna Club. Thank you very much for your attentions. So regarding Jaffna Club, as well as our presentations about the UBL Jaffna. I am Professor T.Eswaramohan, attached Department of Zoology, Faculty of Science, University of Jaffna. So I am very much happy to introduce this UBL Jaffna. So that is the University Business linkage of University of Jaffna. So that's the extension of this name. Can you move the slide, please? Yes, if I ask what is UBL Jaffna, you will be quite interesting. So this has established with the University Grant Commission Circular by 2016, but of course it has released in 2018. Since 2018, I have been serving as a director for this UBL Jaffna. So we have a strong constitution for the UBL Jaffna establishment, as well as we have a strong IP policy. So it has accepted in the University Council as well. The vision of the UBL Jaffna to achieve the sustainable growth for micro, small, and medium enterprises in the regional economy through collaboration between the university and public-private enterprises. The mission. So to create tangible and intangible value to boost the economic activity of the region, MSMEs through mentoring, knowledge sharing, new and novel approaches, innovations, and technology transfer. So ultimately, I would like to say, so we would like to connect the university with the regional and the national industries. So that's the only objective behind this. So this slide shows our location. So our university business linkage, we have an office at the center of the main campus. So it's close to the students complex. So this diagram show you. And we have a website, and we have a strong advisory board, strong UBL team. The UBL team, in the sense, I have been serving as a part-time job for me. In addition to my academic activity, I do this service. So there are faculty coordinators, so described as the UBL team in each faculty. At the moment, we have 11 faculty at the University of Jaffna. So all 11 faculties have the faculty coordinators. So always, I myself and our staff members of the UBL is connected with the UBL faculty coordinators and get the maximum IPs developed by the academic staff as well as students. Then that will be brought to the IP assessment committee and the IP protection. There's a strong body, it's called as advisory board. So advisory board almost like a university council. So it's again, it's chaired by, at the moment, chaired by Professor Sri Satkun Raja, Vice Chancellor. And then University Bazaar will be there. And we invite public sector at the moment, Mrs. Vanaja Selvaratnam from Provincial Director, Department of Industry, Northern Province. And also we invite private sector. So at the moment, Professor Ganesh Raja, he's the entrepreneurial behavior innovation at the Royal Agriculture College in United Kingdom. Now he retired. So he has been serving since establishment of this UBL. And further, we have a representative from business and chambers. At the moment, Mr. Vignesh from the Jalpanam Chamber of Commerce have been participating. And further, we have a legal expert. We have a legal expert from our Department of Law. And we have a students club member. And in addition to that, all faculty deans will be part of this advisory board members. So all the decisions will be taken at the advisory board, and that will be passed to the Senate as well as to the University Council. It's a very strong body, and we take and we protect the IP of the University of Jaffna in a maximum level. As a service, so it was clearly discussed in the mission statement that we wanted to protect IP. So primarily, we have been working since the establishment of UBL. So we started protecting their IP by filing their document as a patent. So we tried our best so far since the establishment since 2018. So we managed to file 11 local patent applications, as well as one international patent application. Two international patent applications. Out of these, I'm very proud to say, so far we managed to obtain 4 the patent documents we granted from the national, as well as 1 international patents we received. And the other one we have been waiting from the international, from USPTO. So all the greens are received right now, and we have this technology at the university, and we have been searching for an industry partner along with the patent. And there are some more not highlighted. This has been applied for a patent, and we are waiting for a granting patent. Meantime, we are quite interesting searching for an industry partner nationally as well as internationally. Next slide, please. So this is to intellectual property. We applied for a PCT filing from the World Intellectual Property Organization. So it's an Internet of Things based on low-cost portable emission measurement stems. It's prepared in the this prototype developed at the Faculty of Engineering, as well as the other one, speaker diarization with overlapped speech detection. So I hope our manager will introduce this. So we apply for a copyright at the USPTO. Next slide, please. So this is the first patent by University of Jaffna. Since the establishment of University of Jaffna, so this is the first patent. So we are proud that we filed and we received this. So this prototypes developed by one of our Department of Fisheries member, Mr. Kalingaraja Harichandra from Faculty of Science. And we have filed these patents by February 2020. So it took nearly 2 years in Sri Lanka context, and we managed to obtain by June 2022. So nearly 2 years after. So it is the first patent for the University of Jaffna, I would like to highlight. Yes. So this is the second patent documents owned by the University of Jaffna. That's Internet of Things based low-cost portable emission measurement system. This has developed at the Electrical Electronic Department. There are 4 members, Mr. Shenal Mario Udara Migaswata, Mr. Will Gengoda, and Sir Dr. Ahilan, and Engineer Walduan from Electrical and Electronics, Faculty of Engineering. So we have filed this one at the national as well as international as well, and we have received the both, I'm happy to say. And we are quite interesting searching for an industry partner for this nationally or internationally. And this is the third patent owned by University of Jaffna. This is a control system to automatically adjust the focus distance of a vehicle headlamp based on its speed. So again, inventor teams, Professor Thiruvaran and Engineer Paramandaraja and Engineer Sankar. So there are 3 inventor teams, and this patent received by March 2023. And for this as well, we are searching for a industry partner for invest as a startup or even receive this technology, and it can be copied in the manufacturing level. Next, please. And this is the 4th patent owned by the University of Jaffna. This has developed at the Department of Zoology. So it's called Black Soldier Fly for poultry feed. The novel device to rear larva of black soldier fly. So actually, this is a good for a domestic waste management. This has developed by Professor Surendran of Department of Zoology. And very recently, so we received this patent documents from NIPO, that's a National Intellectual Property Organization. Next slide, please. And this is again the same things, the PEMS, this automated emission measurement. We have applied for PCT because we were quite interested on targeting some international parties because so this is globally quite interesting. And now we have been started discussing with various industry partners from overseas. So far we haven't identified any appropriate partners, or we welcome investors for this as well. Yes, in addition to this protecting by patent, we try our best so far since the establishment in 2018. we managed to license 4 inventions licensed with the industries. The first one, the technology, this license with the bell ringing jacket. So this bell ringing jacket is developed by Animal Science Faculty of Agriculture. Actually, it's a bell fruit. So in Tamil, it's called Vilvampalam. So many of you would have been seen while you were in Jaffna. So probably you would have seen. This is underutilized fruit, so no one care about it. But it has the medicated value. But what Animal Science inventor found, it has the medicinal value. Some or others, this component should be incorporated into the jacket. So happily, he has invented this idea, and we have taken this knowledge to the Mullai Dairy Factory, owned by Mr. Tavasilan. He is an alumni of Faculty of Science. Actually, he was in UK, and by 2016, he migrated to Udayarka to Mullaitivu, and he has established this Mullai Dairy Factory. So he has been producing. Can you move the slide, please? He has been producing various dairy products like pasteurized milk, yogurt, drinking yogurt, milk, ghee, so this paneer. So very good standard products, this one. So we found this industry. So in the photo, you can see Mr. Davasilan's yes, receiving that product from the Vice Chancellor. And also I am in the scene, I am enjoying the product at the launching ceremony at the Kailasabadi Auditorium, University of Jaffna by September 2022. So it is the first launching ceremony organized by UBL at the University of Jaffna. So that's a first milestone. The University Jaffna is working closely with the industry, and I'm very proud to say this bell ringing incorporated jackets now in the market. So it has some medicinal value. Along with the medicinal values, it can be used as an ordinary drinking jacket as well. Okay. And second technology we have licensed, it is called the super compost. What we found this, again, the waste products, the organic waste, generally everywhere the compost, the organic compost is preparing, but this compost little special. This is what we have defined it as a super compost. It developed by Faculty of Agriculture, again biology department, agriculture faculty, and Professor Bahiradan and Professor Mihundan, they were involved, and they have quite good ingredients, and it has the property not only act as a fertilizer, it acts as a pesticide as well as this nematicide. So then we have identified one industry partner close to Mangulam called Thamba Plantation Private Limited. So he has been cultivating the jasmine plants. It's called Madurai Malligai, and he has been exporting in various countries. Probably our people, our diaspora, so they were quite interesting purchasing and importing this. So he expressed himself that he has more value for this Madurai Malligai. Also, he had some problems how to sort it out, this fertilizer. Actually, when the time we were licensing, there were no fertilizer in the country, so it has banned. So it was a quite good time for us. So he approached us, and so we have tested our super compost. So it had a very good value because when we applied in the field, so it was a quite good outcome because he has overcome some fertilizer matter as well as the nematodes issue. So now he is in the preparation of in a large scale, and he has been testing still. And so we are going to launch this product very soon at the University of Jaffna. Next slide, please. And third licensing, so this is the bioplastic. So it has developed at the technology faculty as well as faculty of agriculture together. It's a joint research project. Actually, it has developed in a final year students research project. The bioplastic, in the sense, everywhere this term is described as the easily degradable. So now it's urgent needs to entire country. Globally, it has demand because the biodegradable. So these inventor teams from technology faculty and the agriculture faculty. So there's an inventor called Mrs. Subhajini and Miss Takshika. So, and Professor Vasandaroba, they were involved in this. And they identify some product from the Palmyra as well as ordinary, very cheapest materials like wooden dust and fatty husk and various components mixed together, and they managed to obtain this bioplastic. So by the time we have noticed there's a factory called MRK Associates at Jaila. They have two places, Jaila, and there's another place, Kala, I think. So they have been producing similar products, the plastic items, and they have been exporting for various countries like India, Albania, Madagascar, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Taiwan, USA, Saudi Arabia. So I suppose they have a place in Middle East for the sales center. So they have been exporting, and it has been directed for various countries. So they approached, and we were successfully managed to license these bioplastic documents at the University of Jaffna. So then our inventor team visited the MRK after the licensing. And so this is the products they managed to obtain. And still there are testing services as well as getting the certifications and other tuning. It's going on. And our inventor at the moment in Australia, she went for a doctorate degree, and she's almost at finishing level. So once he returns, he will make it a little further. It's in a fine product. And so we are going to launch this product also at the University of Jaffna very soon. Next slide, please. Yes, so this is the fourth licensing. Our commercial partner, Indra Group. I'm very happy to say this Indra Group, his owner is called Mr. Rajidan. Probably these members would have been met. So he's very active, young agriculture graduate. And so he has initiated, because the farmer and the customer relations, like from Kilinochchi Mullaitivu areas, there are families. So most of them are living without their children. Many of their children left the country for various reasons. Only the parents are living. So he started supplying the fresh vegetables from the farmers' point to this delivery point to these families. He started. There will be a quite demand from overseas, because many of their families' children instruct to Mr. Rajidan to deliver the products at the site, at the door delivery. So he started this business since just before the Corona. Then by the Corona, so all the farmers were locked down, so they couldn't bring to the market, and so they had some problem. Then during the crisis times, again, there was a problem for transportation. So then he managed to go with a bicycle and motorbike, and he started delivery. So his intention was taking the fresh vegetables after harvesting and supply to the needy families in the Vanni region. So then during the economic crisis, he has realized it's very difficult to communicate with the farmers and customers and those who are ordering from overseas. So he wanted to have some network system. So then he approached to University of Jaffna. By the times, so our inventor teams from Faculty of Science, Department of Computer Science, Mr. Ramanaruban and so Dr. Thabodaran, they managed to prepare an online-based the commercial platform, like how to manage this inventory management, how to order these vegetable fruits, and how to give the monthly statement for Rajidan, as well as how farmers can interact with the mobile apps and the web apps, and how customers can, as well as their children, our children from overseas, they can interact quite easy, and they can do their payment also in a very easy way. So this technology is licensed, and we are going to launch very soon. So now it's almost the final level. So this is the events. Mr. Rajidan is receiving the license signed document from our Vice Chancellor. And it's these two members, Dr. Thabodaran and Mr. Ramanaruban from Computer Science. They are the inventor teams. They have successfully completed these mobile apps. And here, some of our university teams, Bursa, and Department of Computer Science staff members are there. Right, next slide, please. And we expect the supporting student startup. So for this one, I would like to welcome Mr. Rakavan. So Mr. Rakavan has been serving as a manager, UBL manager, as a full-time member for UBL since 2021. Actually, he has been serving as a contract basis. So for UBL establishments, we identified the World Bank grant, and with the World Bank grant, we managed to appoint Mr. Rakavan. He is our graduate. He is specialized in chemistry. He's a young, energetic person, has been serving as a our UBL manager. So I'm happy. I would like to welcome Mr. Rakavan to continue about this student startup and what are the other technology we have and how we can approach all the members who have been in this presentation, the Zoom. Probably we expect, as a director, I would like to highlight, we expect your support in the sponsored research, as well as taking our technology to globally for various industry. We are very much happy. Always we can interact with all. So I would like to welcome Mr. Rakavan. Please continue the student startup and the other prototypes. Thank you very much for listening. So Mr. Rakavan, please.
Thank you, Professor.
Not clear, Rakavan.
UBL have an obligation to contribute to the regional MSME. At the same time, ensuring that we leverage the intellectual property. So the startups and spin-offs. Am I audible now? Let me drop off my video here. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Am I audible now? Yeah. So as far as commercialization go, it can be for either an industry. At the same time, at the other end, we can go for student startups and spin-offs from University of Jaffna. One such an event where University of Jaffna UBL was able to support a few students who wanted to refine the idea was the madeinjaffna.shop e-commerce site. Because why we went on to that logical decision was when we had many discussions with the MSME through the workshops and awareness program, most of the answers was they do not have the facility to market their products. And especially even without a retail shop, when their businesses can be done in the modern age, they do not even have the basic etiquettes of or the basic technologies to market their product too digitally. So when we went through this opportunity where the students came up of creating an e-commerce platform, we thought of that can be a good synergy where we can support the regional entrepreneurs and the business community to have a digital space in the digital real estate. In that respect, the team right now has a minimum viable product where they are testing out and refining certain things that they want to proceed forward before launch. And right now, just through organic traffic, we were able to identify that the website has already reached a certain amount of organic traffic. So we are trying to see how we can further improve this and support the student startup. At the same time, we are also looking for other student startups who we could support and co-facilitate to create the first spin-off from the University of Jaffna. We also do many outreach programs to support the regional MSME. One good example is a discussion with the MSME last February, where our advisory board member, Professor Ganesh Raja, came on board, and where we had a discussion with 20. Same time, that was engaged through the students of University of Jaffna, interdisciplinary team where each team consists of an engineering student, a technology student, an agriculture student, and a student from management and business studies, so that they can capture that problem and try to convert them into university research. At the same time, we have done startup training program for students as well. We have facilitated the startup program for students. Again, as you could see here, Professor Ganesh Raja, during his visit here, he was able to communicate the concept of innovation and how we can solve real-day problem. So these are two instances, one where he was addressing the first-year medical faculty students, and the other is where he was having a discussion with the MBA students of University of Jaffna. You can see the whole list in our official website. Everything is documented in our website. We also do programs for students as well, where each faculties and department welcome us to during the orientation program to discuss what UBL do and how we can support the students in terms of creating valid intellectual properties at the same time structuring their research in the future. Coming on to one interesting sector of what we are going to discuss today are the prototypes available for licensing and for startup formation. One promising product that we have right now is a fish feed for ornamental fishes, where we have seen, our researchers have seen that there are significant color change because of this fish feed. It has all natural ingredients and no artificial ingredients. And at the same time, we would like to highlight this fish feed contains extracts from the native palmyra fruit. So again, that brings a high value into this. We are looking forward to people from segments such as fish farmers, exporters, breeding centers, who we like to commercialize this product to. The second prototype that is available right now is the Black Soldier Fly rearing setup, the fourth patent that we have received. It can be a very good alternative for backyard poultry, where food malnutrition as of current Sri Lankan state can be overcome. At the same time, it can encourage small-scale poultry farms, which again can create a ripple effect in terms of nutrition and economical growth. The third prototype that we are like to present today is the Smart Faucet, which was the first patent granted to University of Jaffna. This innovation was recorded during the pandemic. Even though the initial concept was focused on the pandemic, now the inventors and we are trying to pivot it to solving a real-life problem, such as in hospitals, schools, and airports. Somewhere washing hands need to be mandated. We are pivoting towards that, and we are looking for commercial partners for this as well. The fourth one, which is one high-tech technology that we have right now, is the control system to automatically adjust the focus distance of a vehicle headlamp based on its speed. We have been granted a national patent for this, where we see that electric vehicle manufacturers and component manufacturers can integrate this kind of a value-added technology into their current vehicle manufacturing process as well, because the dimming light and parking lights and the headlamp lights, all this confusion brings uneasiness every single day for us when we travel in the road. But through this innovation, there is a considerable betterment which could be done to the vehicle drivers. The fifth one, which I personally think is a very interesting innovation, which attracts mosquitoes and capture mosquitoes at a very crucial point. So what this trap does is once a mosquito sucks the blood out of a person, it needs to lay its eggs in a fresh water so they can go forward. What this innovation does is to stop the mosquitoes at the egg laying site itself so that the life cycle is disrupted and the mosquito does not propagate forward. So this device, again, does not need electricity. It is easy to handle. And as Sri Lanka, where we face dengue as one of a major challenge, this can be a very good alternative for conventional mosquito repellents. This is another global technology that we are trying to see, especially for South Asia and Southeast Asia, where emission measurement had been tampered or not regulated in a much big extent. Because all countries have treaties and agreements to reduce their emission by 2030. And as of the current progression, all the burden is given to the government itself. But in utilizing these devices, nations can transition that responsibility to the common man, every citizens as well, so that they also get that need to transition into emission-less transportation. At the same time, this can mandate and regulate the current initiatives made by the government in terms of reducing the emissions. So we have a national patent for this. At the same time, we are looking for other partners who we could work with to expand this product to other countries as well, especially from South and Southeast Asia. This is an outcome from one of our high-tech labs that we have. World Bank has sponsored University of Jaffna, a machine learning and signal processing lab with the high state-of-the-art equipments. The first outcome, tangible outcome that we have is speaker verification and speaker identification system is able to identify a person using their vocal biometrics, determining whether an input belongs to a specific claimed identity. And the speaker diarization, which can help us to diarize or separate the voice tones of a person in a place where there are multiple speakers. So it can track, it can even create meeting notes, meeting minutes, if integrated right. So the unique value proposition not only trained for English, but it is also trained for the local languages such as Tamil and Sinhala. So this can be utilized in a local context at the same time scale for the global context. This can be used for call centers, prepare meeting minutes, and to some extent for home automation devices as well. So apart from the above-mentioned prototypes, which is available for commercialization, we have other projects as well, which in near future we will be publishing in our website, which is available for commercialization or licensing. Apart from that, what we have right now, very interesting thing is that UBL has invested in 12 projects, which we anticipate to be completed before December 2023. These are the titles of the project, which we anticipate a prototype to be developed. Number one is a smart solar grass cutter, which we got this request from MAs from Arvial Nahal, Kilnochi, where they have acres of land where they are spending too much of money into maintaining their gardens. So the engineering faculty actually approached them and supported them in creating this application. And right now, UBL has funded the research team to create a prototype for a solar smart grass cutter. Number two is an explainable AI framework for disease prediction. We are utilizing our machine learning labs to create a model to see how accurate we can predict diseases. Number three is unveiling the Jaffna's finest curry leaf tree for global exportation. We understand that Jaffna curry leaf can be a good initial point for us to identify the endemic species which is available in the northern province, which has high potential of export. And we are trying to reach out as an initial approach for curry leaf to identify the best one and to see how we can facilitate the current export process or create a proper pipeline for export of the domestic curry leaf. Number four is a glycemic forecasting system, again, a prediction model. Number five is IoT-based automated attendance collection device and systems for classroom settings. We are trying to apply this because of a internal challenge that we have. We want to make sure to count attendance in a specific hall, specific meeting, specific classroom. At the same time, that can be expanded to other regions as well. One good example is the MAS, again, from Kilnochi, where they wanted to track the amount of workers who is in a cafeteria every single day. So that can have a wider scope of application as well. Number 6 is the IoT-based smart thermal comfort and energy management system. Energy which we produce needs to be renewable. At the same time, energy that we produce needs to be consumed properly. One good example is having a refrigerator in an air-conditioned room is it's totally energy inefficient, as the refrigerator is emitting heat. The air condition of the room needs to work towards reducing the emitted heat from the refrigerator as well, in addition to cooling the room. So these kind of small blunders that we are making right now can be corrected through this energy management system. At the same time, it will help us to regulate the air conditioning and the other energy intensive process that we have in our real life right now. Number 7 is the indoor air quality monitoring IoT device based on wireless sensor network. Internal air quality, especially in a residential area or in a restaurant or in a commercial area, needs to be monitored. In addition to the quality as well. So this allows the property owner to understand how well the environment is in order to maintain a good quality of air that we have. The next one is implementation of wind and solar hybrid powering for telecom towers. Right now, all telecommunication towers is running either on a fossil fuel or from the direct supply of electricity from the main line. Since these telecom towers need to be connected to the grid, they have a challenge of expanding in terms of cost. So our engineering faculty, students and researchers were able to identify that if these telecom towers can be transitioned, powered with wind and solar. Number 9 is the Tamil conversational engine to provide customer support. So Dialogue, Axiata Group, Dialogue in Sri Lanka, they have made a request from us for any assistance in terms of customer care. They can cater language models made for the local languages. So we are taking the previous example and we are taking a notch higher. We are trying to create a conversational engine where customer support can be automated, initially starting out with Tamil language. Next is a Mora mouthwash, a mouthwash made from the domestic ingredients, which was invented in the unit of Jaffna. Right now, we are trying to go through analytical services and verifying the claims and the effectiveness of this mouthwash. Next is the Sri Lankan paddy leaf disease prediction using deep learning techniques. We see that deep learning and image processing and agriculture field has a huge way forward in the future, and we are as an initiative we are trying to go with paddy leaves to identify the disease so that the farmers have well-informed data so that they can take the good decisions. And finally, we have the IoT.
Yeah, I think Anu will come back fairly soon. Okay, while we're waiting, Professor, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can ask. Yes.
So this is remarkable. And even though I came and interviewed you and Anu and wrote that article, there's more here than I realized. It's quite remarkable. So my question for you is, how do you go about finding the industrial partner? So for example, if we look at your air quality gadget, how do you actively go and find this industrial partner? What do you do?
Yes, it's a good question. Initially, we get the background idea from the inventor team, because inventor teams, when they develop their ideas, probably they are so marginally look at the existing product, and they wanted to give some more features on that. So by the time they just probably they will have a novel idea or maybe little innovation. But along with they give some idea, okay, these are the companies right now producing this nationally or internationally. Then we approach them, so we have this system. But I have been facing a big problem. It's a right question you asked, because the university academics, so most of them producing the prototypes based on their own idea, own interest, not the interest of regional industry or national demands. So it's a quite challenge for me, because they identify and they made a prototype and I need to take to the industry. How can I push? It's a right question you ask. So it's a challenging for me. But by email and by over the phone, we ask them. So they discuss for once or twice. Then they say, no, we are not interested on that. It seems we need additional machineries or tools to promote this one. But at the moment, we are running this product, so we won't be able to hope this one. So we dropped it. So likewise, we are moving. So that's why we approach external parties like you all. So wherever invited, so we go and introduce ourselves and introduce our product, and we try our best through this one. Okay, there's a...
Yeah, so Kurt is but just, sorry, very quickly.
Yes.
Something like that air quality product. Now, a company like Aban, who, there are a lot of companies, they just import air conditioners and sell them. While Aban's actually assembles their own.
You mean that the
air conditioners.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
So would you go to a company like Aban's? Because if Aban's can add some additional value to their air conditioners, and I expect this is very cheap, it's an IoT gadget. Have you approached Aban? Have you approached a company like that?
No, we haven't approached. Yeah, but in turn, what we practiced, we invited some SME sectors to Kilinochchi. So with the support of Professor Ganesh Raja, we expected their troubleshoots, technical issues in their companies or industries. So we have taken final year students, and few staff members were engaged, and we have given an opportunity for the industry partners, the SME sectors and the students, they interacted. So when in the interaction programs, they identify few technical issues. So whatever they can short at their level at the faculties. So that will work, I'm sure. But as you said, some industries, so they have a problem, but certain things we couldn't sort it out at the university level. So that again, I have a problem. So yes. Now at the advisory board, what I do, I have appointed another committee to handle this consultation service as well as analyzing services at the university level. So we appoint another group under the UBL. So last advisory board chaired by Chancellor. So he requests, because it's a challenging for us. Thank you for your questions.
Do you want to take your question?
Yes. Again, once again, I have to thank you, Professor T.Eswaramohan and Anu for covering so much within 1 hour. So many things, so many questions we can ask, and we can go on for a long time, but we don't have time. But I have a couple of questions. Sure. Just to mention about the speech detection. With the advent of AI in Australia, I'm calling from Australia. Australian tax office, they had this speech recognition for a while. Okay. In Australia, my voice identifies me. Now they have stopped it because of the AI. You know, we can generate my voice, somebody else can generate my voice, and so they have cancelled it. So
really?
I'm just putting it out there for you, just to work a bit smarter in
Yes.
getting this product into the market. The
Yes.
next question I have
Thank
is,
you.
because you covered a lot of wide range of things.
Yes.
The bale drinking, you know, I grew up in Batticalow. I know about Vilvambalam. So this yogurt, Vilvambalam, you are not mentioning the benefit of it. You said there's some health benefit, but not specifically mentioning what are the health benefits. All I
Very good.
knew was it is something to do with piles.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all my questions.
So thank you. For the first questions, I realized I hope Mr. Anuragavan on that. For the second question, I answer. For the second question regarding this BL, as a medicinal value, it reduces diabetics, and also it reduces some the deposition of the cholesterol, and it encourages the minimize the constipation and reduce the appetite. And also we add this bale incorporated stuff very little. In addition to that, drinking the yogurt. Yogurt itself is a milk product, and this especially this Moonlight Dairy product, they don't add any additives on that. So it's a very pure and valuable product. I heard many of the consumers' statement when they're having in the morning, so they don't want to take any breakfasts. This is more than enough. Just to have a 180 ml of yogurt, that's more than enough for them. They are satisfied because it has as a milk product. It's a dairy product. So bale only, it gives some flavor as well as kind of taste, because it doesn't have a bitter taste. Normally the yogurts, it has a bitter taste because of the fermentation. But as it's added, it has a little different taste. You have to experience it. But the medicinal value also there. So its contribution is reduced. I hope Anuragavan can answer on this AI and the speaker verification.
Thank you very much for raising that one. We do understand with the current deep fake and other things going on, voice can be very, very hard to use for identification purposes. That's why we are trying to pivot to diarization, where there's a conversation in a meeting where there are about 5 people talking at the same time. We would like to identify the voice at the same time, have separate recordings, so separate methods to prepare the meeting minutes. So we are trying to not only push the speaker verification, we'd like to integrate that into speaker diarization, where it can identify different speakers in terms of creating meeting minutes and other type of applications.
Okay, thank you. Prasad, do you want to take your question?
Yeah. Yes. Nice to meet you, sir. And Rakavan and we were meet earlier also. I think Mr. Rakavan also know. I'm a director of Royal Flour Mills. We are manufacturing royal feeds under the industrial estate, actually Jaffna. Rakavan, you might know me, right? You visited my factory.
Yes.
Yeah. And we had a discussion, nice discussion about that black flyer, about the poultry feed, right? So thereafter it was stopped without further take up, because that day last time when we met, you told me that the machinery was in Kilinochi for a experiment or for a studies. So it will back in University Jaffna, then you will be contact me. Thereafter no further communication. Just I am interested to do this, Mr. Rakavan, for the black flyer commercial scale manufacturing. We start up with a small scale according to the technical parameters. And let me share some details. We'll meet up here. This is the priority for me. And second one is I'm very much interested to do the fish feed, right? Because we are the commercial and approved feed manufacturers. So we have a whole range of feed without the fish feed, right? Fish feed, there is a certain parameters that what we need.
Hi, Prasad.
I'm very much, yeah. I'm really interested to do both that black flyer project as well as in the fish feed. So it's very easy for me both.
So you're muted again.
So just for the information, please give for the instruction and the assistance to take up these two projects, Mr. Rakavan.
Sure.
That's all. Thank you.
On behalf of Anuragavan, I would like to add thank you, Mr. Prasad, for your interest. I received the message through Anuragavan. So regarding this first one, the black soldier fly one, I am happy to say very recently we have received the patents, the national patent. So we have a patent document with us. So next week only, I am going to produce to the Senate that I am going to officially announce. And also that prototypes developed at the Faculty of Engineering, at the Mechanical Engineering, is brought to the Department of Zoology. Now, Professor Surendran is the inventor. He started in applying and culturing, rearing the system, because I know, I can remember you requested to demonstrate as a real time. So rather than talking about, okay, this will do, what are the benefits? So now Professor Surendran wanted to give you the complete real time, what do you call this, prototype application. So now it's moving at the Department of Zoology. Very soon, so we will approach you. And thank you very much for your interest on that. Definitely we will.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Other one,
it will be very much help me.
Ornamental fish feeds. Yes, as you mentioned, these ornamental fish feeds also apply for a patent. And this is novel because she has, that inventor from Department of Fisheries, she has utilized the palmera sac for the production of this ornamental fish feeds. So it has a great value, and we have a mechanism, produce large number of large scale product as well. So very soon, so we can approach you, and probably we can do a signing. Thank you very much. Almost 2 license agreement is on the way. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
So Janan and then Anthony after Janan.
Thank you, both of you, for spending time today. Wonderful presentation. I just have a quick question. I have a coconut fiber facility, manufacturing facility, and recently we had a bad fire. And currently in Sri Lanka, like this year alone, 6 of the coconut fiber facilities, manufacturing facilities have burned down. So one of the things, like, we restarted again, but our focus is to fire prevention. And we are doing a lot of research, like, because the biggest challenge we have is climate change. The soil temperature is increasing, air temperature is increasing, and we are producing a combustible product, which is like mostly open air. And how can is there a possibility I can work with UBL and kind of research or come out with concrete fire prevention, methods which can be helpful not only for us, but there are many other factories in the north that it can be useful. And I just want to explore, like, can we kind of contact you guys and explore the possibility, or do you have any facilities like that? Thank you.
Anu, can you add on this? Or?
Sure.
Anu?
Thank you, Mr. Raj, for your interest. You can reach us out of this email conversation. I will follow up. So I will connect you with that. Based on your request and their suggestions, we might be able to go for a sponsored research where we will be able to work directly with you and your manufacturing process to identify what type of integrations and intellectual support that we can give in terms of producing a solution to solve the current challenge you are facing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your interest, Raj. Definitely we can support. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Rakavan's emails when I send a recording. So Anthony's next. We have room for one more question if anyone else wants to take a question. because we're overrunning a bit. Anthony, you go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks, Professor Ananu, for the introduction. I'm the lead data scientist at an AI-based company. So I have just one question to you, which is, like, say if an institution or an organization wants to try out a POC with University of Jaffna. So I'm just wondering, like, do you guys have such programs, or I mean, in that case, do you have any specific timeline that we can collaborate with you to try out a POC? It could be in the AI ML sector, or it can be in any engineering division as well.
I know, can you add?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Anthony. We have been doing projects which we understand has commercial interest, but we are also always open to work with industries in terms of producing novel concepts and the support, intellectual support, which is in infrastructures. We are also open to open our labs and our equipments as well, so that we can work on creating some real-life problem-solving solutions as well. So you can, I will, as Mr. Jagan said, you can write to us through the email. So I'll connect you with the relevant teams and the research teams and the lab coordinators, so we can speak in more details of how we can go forward.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Rakavan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So as there are no more hands up, then I will wind this session up with my thanks to Professor T.Eswaramohan and to Rakavan. I think, you know, this was an eye-opener for me as well, I'll tell you, because even though, as I said earlier, even though I came and met you in your office, there's so much more. I think one of the key issues is, how do you, you have your guided missiles, you have your ideas, but how do you target them at the right people? And maybe this group, and also the people who see the recordings, will be able to help you with that. So now, unless there's any other business, then I will, as tradition, wind up and wish you, Janan, enjoy your breakfast. Kurt, enjoy dinner. Anusha, I can't remember where you're there. So what are you doing now? Lunchtime. So thank you, everybody, for joining. And
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your listening.
Thank you very much.